Welcome once again to the Movies and Stuff show. My name is Dan, and joining me is a man who built his city on rock and roll, Abe.
Oh, you're darn tootin' I did, Daniel.
We are coming here live from the suburbs of New Jersey and Missouri, and while we don't live in the best cities in the world, we luckily don't live in the worst. But do the worst cities in our world compare with some of the worst cities in movies and TV? We asked ourselves that very question, and together we came up with each 5 fictional cities that could possibly be the worst to live in. Now, I'm going to start off here, and I was almost tempted to put Michael Moore's America as the worst place to live in films, because, I mean, that America that he lives in is just a terrible place, it seems. But I figured it was way too unrealistic. You know, it was such a crazy place to live in that I wanted to come up with 5 possible places that would suck to live in. And so my number 5 is going to be San Angeles from Demolition Man. Now, the best case scenario of living in this city is that you pretty much live with 0 freedoms. You can't have sex, you can't curse, you have to eat some form of Taco Bell for fast food, and you have to wipe your butt with seashells.
The seashells, man. I still don't get it.
No one does. And then the worst case scenario is you live in the sewers with Dennis Leary eating burgers made from rat meat. Ah, yeah. And every so often criminals are being taken out of cryostasis to run havoc. Enjoy that, my friend.
No, it's still the Dennis Leary part's the worst. I don't even mean the rats. I just mean hanging out with
Not the rats, just hanging out with Dennis Leary.
Horrible, man. And didn't they like, the radio stations were nothing but old cartoon or old advertisements, right?
Right.
Oh, God. And handing out with Sandra Bullock. Man.
Especially, you know, maybe that's not a bad thing that you couldn't have sex then. I kid.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it didn't sound like a great place to be.
What about you? What's your number 5?
Well, my number 5 is a little bit offbeat. I picked Ferris Bueller's Chicago. Because, honest to God, I don't want to live in a world where you have to go to school the day there's a citywide parade. Not to mention there's a pedophilic principal chasing you. To me, that Chicago just sounds horrible.
And now you lived in the real Chicago, right?
Yes, I did. It wasn't anything like that.
No?
I didn't see any parades that I recall. Not
Did
mine.
Did you ever cut school or cut work to go to a Cubs game?
Oh, man, no. You can't afford to go to a Cubs game. It's horrible.
Yeah, and then you have the worry about some kid just running through your living room, running through your backyard, jumping on the trampoline.
Oh, yeah. What a prick.
And forget about the, oh, yeah, boom, 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 song just running through your head. Yeah. That would make me want to leave Chicago right there.
There you go.
My number 4 is Dark City from the movie Dark City. And now I may fall asleep and wake up one day imprinted with memories of being a murderer. And it's pretty much the exact opposite of what happened to O.J. Simpson.
Yeah. You know, I know you picked that. I don't think Dark City's that bad of a place to live. If you're having a bad time, in a couple weeks it's going to be completely different. You're going to be rich one day.
You know, but being host to an alien parasite is not a great way to live. And you know, trust me, I had dysentery. I should know.
Okay. Point taken. Dark City sucks. All right. My number 4, Daniel, is Los Angeles from Magnolia.
Man.
First off, there's a bunch of self-centered assholes surrounding you. Cops that lose their guns. God, another pedophile reference. Game show hosts that touch their kids. Unbelievable. And finally, it rains freaking frogs. The king of I Can't End a Movie decided to rain frogs in L.A.
Whoa, hey, whoa.
I knew that would get you, yeah.
Oh, that hurt. Oh,
But how do you bolster your house in case it rains frogs?
Read the Bible.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's all I can say is read the Bible. I'm sure there's a how-to guide on fortifying your house from falling frogs, possibly, you know, 4 horsemen, things of that nature. Possibly the worst would be to turn on your TV and see Tom Cruise jumping up and down like a maniac. I mean, In what world would we turn on the TV and see Tom Cruise jumping up and down like a maniac?
Oh my God.
That
Yeah,
is that is possibly the worst.
it's implausible.
My number three is Detroit from RoboCop, and it's not much different from Detroit in real life. I'm actually going to credit that joke to Jesse Sweeney, who commented that on our Facebook page.
Nice.
But seriously, with guys like Dick Jones and Clarence Boddicker running the show, I wouldn't want to live in this drug-filled, crime-savage cesspool, even if I had some kind of, I don't know, robotic cop of some nature to look over me. If there maybe was some kind of cop that was part robo of some sorts that was there to protect me, it might be a little bit better, but it would still suck balls.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. RoboCop is pretty awful. I mean, the whole idea, which fascinates me about RoboCop, is they were predicting the future. You know, corporations running things into the ground just so they could sell you the fix. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Do you know who I work for? I work for Dick Jones.
Yeah.
Let's just go into this for a little bit. Very quotable movie, by the way. You know, bitches leave.
Oh yeah.
Come
Classic.
on, so good, so good. I love RoboCop, the original. Did you see the remake one?
I did actually see the remake. I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, it was on my list of least favorite movies of that year. I've caught some of it again, and is a little better than I remembered it.
It's
But
not.
my
Yeah.
initial reaction to it was just,
It's not great, but I mean, I guess I went in with thinking it was going to be just goddamn awful, and
yeah.
it wasn't goddamn awful.
Well, I mean, Michael Keaton's awesome, so
Yeah. Right.
there's that.
All right. Oh, my number three is a show and movie I actually have been revisiting lately. Twin Peaks. I would never want to live in Twin Peaks at all. I mean, yeah, there's drug dealing going on all the time by the high school kids. I mean, there's what, like 13, 12 murders in a town of 50,000. There's rapes and, there's fathers raping and murdering their children. And, I think the worst of it all is that not one goddamn teenager in the whole town goes to school. They're just roaming the city all the time.
But are you a fan of pie and coffee?
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, wouldn't that make up for it then?
It's
Not a good balance right there. Murders, pie and coffee.
I like coffee and I like pie. I think I can live with less quality pie and coffee to avoid, potentially being murdered or possessed by, spirits from different dimensions and whatnot.
Could I eat cream corn if I wanted to?
Ooh, you don't want that. The Garmabosi is human suffering, man.
A good one. A good one. I want to revisit Twin Peaks as well with of course, the show being rebooted, revamped, reworked, something.
It's continuing. That's it.
It's continuing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exciting. So I can see why you wanted to revisit that, and it was a good choice.
Absolutely.
My number two is Mega City 1 from Dread. I'm talking about the 2012 version of Dread. I haven't even seen the Stallone version of Dread. So
You have
let's-
not?
No, I have not. I have not seen the Stallone version of Dread. I avoided that like the plague. I saw Daylight, and I felt that was enough for me not to see Judge Dredd.
But you-
I'm a huge fan of 2012 Dread, though.
Yeah, it's a great flick. I love it. Mama is so awesome.
Yeah, totally. But is there a reason for me to see Judge Dredd?
Sylvester Stallone being Stallone. Armand DeSante is the bad guy. Rob Schneider is the comic relief. How do you not
that-
just want to see it out of morbid curiosity?
Doesn't that sound like Demolition Man? I mean, is that exactly what Demolition Man is right there?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
But Mega City 1 is very similar to RoboCop's Detroit. Only I feel it's a hell of a lot scarier in a way. I mean, it's so bad that cops are essentially acting as judges and making decisions to kill people. And again, like I love how that movie was made, and I loved how it looked. Like Mega City 1, once you get into the heart of it, into that complex where they're just kind of trapped in there, man, it felt so claustrophobic. It felt like urban warfare. It was just insanely awesome. Would not want to live there though.
But your real problem is being claustrophobic and being stuck in that building, not necessarily the judges who, are judge, jury, and executioner. That's you could deal with that.
No, I even mentioned that. That's
No,
I
I'm
got
just
a,
making
I
sure.
got I
Yeah,
don't know. I got a
yeah, yeah.
problem with that too. I
Okay.
think the thing is that there's just so much crime and so much awfulness that they had to resort to that. You know, uh, all in all, it's a pretty shitty place.
Yeah, horrible. All right, my number two, and this is going to take me a second to talk about. My number two is San Francisco from Star Trek. I have the Star Trek Into Darkness poster up, but I'm not saying Star Trek Into Darkness necessarily. I mean San Francisco,
Just all
Earth.
throughout Star
Yeah,
Trek.
Earth
Yeah.
really throughout all of Star
Right.
Trek. It terrifies me. I like Star Trek. Starfleet terrifies me. The whole fusion of science and the military. If you want to explore, you got to join the military. Just and this the whole aspect of it. Starfleet does everything. Everything. The military controls everything. And I know, they're not like the scary military supposedly.
Right.
But as soon as the Dominion strikes, or is potentially going to strike Earth, Starfleet is patrolling the streets. I just find that to be terrifying. And if you don't want to join Starfleet, what do? I mean, there's no money, but if you want to get off of Earth, apparently you have to like bartend on 10 forward, hustle drinks. There's something about that just really rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, it's like almost like you need some kind of like subversive underground type organization to help keep the balance to it.
Yeah, almost.
That you would join, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd be hanging out with Sloan. Love that.
It's funny too. Is in a week or so we're going to be talking about a Star Trek movie, and it takes place mostly on the Earth, but not the San Francisco that you're talking about.
No, no, no. It's really post
All of that.
Federation. Yeah, pretty much
Yeah.
when the Federation started. Yeah, that
Right.
it just kind of it's an interesting idea, but the more they develop it, the creepier it gets in my mind.
Well, I think that almost like in a way kind of bleeds into my number one, which is the city from Brazil.
Oh,
And the good news is I don't think my last name can really be confused with anyone else's. So I mean that's a plus.
yeah.
I don't have that to worry about. But knowing that there is a city with such a level of bureaucracy that it results in a resistance that may be creeping around in my air conditioning unit, it sounds like a terrible place to live. And for those caught fighting against the government, you essentially just get tortured into insanity. And I'll take New Jersey over that any day. Our governor only shuts down bridges and tunnels.
You don't forget in Brazil you have to pay for it. You're billed for your interrogation.
Yeah.
Hurry up and confess, boy. Got to think of your credit rating.
But I think it ties into the whole Orwellian Big Brother kind of is watching,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
also what you were saying about that San Francisco Star Trek in a way of this is it's run by Starfleet. Starfleet is everything.
Yeah.
Hail Starfleet.
Yeah.
It's very similar in nature to Big Brother. It's a very similar in nature to the bureaucracy, the government in Brazil.
Central Services.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think that was a good kind of a segue into that.
I think
All
so.
right, I think this is it. This is your number one. Let's do this.
My
Yeah.
number one, another Lynch, Eraserhead. The city in Eraserhead, which is really Philadelphia, the city in Eraserhead is hell on earth. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. I don't know that I've ever seen a bleaker, more oppressive place in cinema. Ever. With the machinery that's always just grinding away, the perpetual like twilight and then pitch black. Apparently, that's all you get. And of course, it's shot in black and white, which you kind of feel that world exists only in these shades of gray and darkness, and whatever the hell is happening has definitely affected children in the womb. It's holy cow. Yeah, there's some kind of mutation going on there.
Oh man. Yeah.
Women that sing in your radiator too.
I think that's a good number one. I think that's I think that's the number one of all number ones that were said today. So if we were doing this in a top 10 type order, I think
Yeah.
you would have 1 of 10. I think that
Nice.
I think that beats the cake. That takes the cake right there.
Yeah.
Just got a message on Facebook from Charles Richard Lehigh. Said, be sure to include that city from Mario Brothers, from the Mario Brothers movie. I can't remember the name of it, but god awful stage of existence.
Oh my
So
God. Yeah. The dinosaurs. Yeah.
yeah. So that was for Charles Richard Lehigh. Thanks for commenting on Facebook. That's going to close out another episode of the Movies and Stuff show. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, stay caught up on all of our awesomeness that we're doing. We got interviews, we got reviews, we got lists, we got so much cool stuff. As I mentioned, we're going to be talking about Star Trek First Contact next week.
We are?
We're going to be joined by the guy that wrote that, Ronald Moore.
Oh.
So we're going to interview him. We're going to do a review of that movie. That's going to be pretty awesome. Make sure to follow us on Facebook for exclusive content, access to contests, other awesomeness and madness. And, you comment while we're on the air, we'll bring it up and we'll give you a shout out. I think that's all I got, Abe. Final words.
Well, you quoted Starship earlier, so I just want to dance here, but somebody stole the stage.
Later, man.
Bye.